Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm Paul Jasson. Thank you for joining us. We're downtown in the lobby of Fairfield Federal, where we always are, and we'll talk about kind of a big event that occurred maybe 20 yards behind us last week, a big event for the holiday parade, because that's our subject on the first half of the show today, is a holiday parade. Second half, we'll talk to Dr. Ed Payne about things going on in his world of disabilities and the center over there. They've always got a lot of neat things going on. That'll be in the second half of the show. But for the first half of the show, we've got kind of a new person here. No, not really. She's been on before, but she has been the assistant chief cook and bottle washer, and now Maria Chandler is the head chief cook and bottle washer,
yes.
Director of the Fairfield County Holiday Parade.
Yes,
Winter
sir.
Wonderland this year. It will be on about a week and a half away on Saturday, November 19th. You are the head person. It's a different feel for you probably this year.
I am. It is a lot more than what I've done previously,
Yes.
and taking on more responsibility and everything from start to finish. So it's a lot, but you know, it's a good event for the community. A lot of our community comes out to see it, and I know the kids really like it.
You've done the assistant kind of job for many years.
I was trying to figure it out, and I think I have helped out in a capacity for almost 15 years.
Yeah, and of course, what we're talking about here, kind of the elephant in the room, and we'll talk about it, is the director of the Fairfield County Parade, the holiday parade for 30 plus years was Fran Miller. Fran passed away, and Maria stepped in and assumed that job, and of course just last week, that was pretty neat too, Fran Miller Way, right here behind us on North Broad. That's
Yes.
a well-deserved honor.
Yes, I think it's something that the city did that's very, very nice to commemorate all the years that Fran dedicated to the parade and the community. You know, she was such a giving person, and it's really nice to have that up to be anybody can see when they go through downtown, and to be up during the parade, it's just a nice little memento to her.
What is that, November, December? They're going to have, I think it's November and December, it's going to be called Fran Miller
I
Way
think
through
so,
Christmas.
Yes. I believe, yes.
So it'll be up for the parade, which again is coming up in about a week and a half here. So Winter Wonderland is the theme. The honorees, the Grand Marshal this year, are Columbus Honor Flight, which I personally am very excited about. They're a great group, a super organization.
Yes, we decided to choose the honor flight this year, and what they are going to do is they're going to honor about, I believe, 15 to 20 veterans and have them ride on the float for the parade. So, you know, it's a really nice opportunity for them, and they're a great organization. They do a lot of great things.
And we've had, I know your contact person has been Lori Cronin. She's kind of
Yes.
the person down, she lives here in Fairfield County, but she's on the board of Honor Flight. I've had her on the show several times here. They do such a great job, but these will all be veterans who have been on honor flights. Mine was, about a year ago. It was a year ago October, so mine was flight 110, and I think they're up to like 119 or something right now, so they'll have veterans on there. So again, I'm sure she was just excited as all get out. Knowing Lori, she's kind of a high energy person, so she was, when you told her that, I bet she was pretty excited.
Yeah, it did not take very long for them to get back to me and confirm, which is great. So, I mean, we're excited to have them and to honor this group.
Well, they're a good group. They do a lot around Lancaster and Fairfield County. A lot of veterans from here go up and are on the honor flights, and you can look that up, Columbus Honor Flight. They've got a great website. So parade is a week and a half away, Saturday the 19th. It'll kick off from the fairgrounds, go down Columbus Street, right at 10 o'clock. Would I be close on that?
You are exactly right. 10 o'clock, we step off.
That's right.
Get them out.
Come hell or high water, it's ready to go.
That's right. We're going out, 10 a.m. We're starting on time.
So boy, a lot of pregame activity happens down there way before 10 o'clock. Does it start around 8?
About 7:30, we have some of our floats start to roll in, and then they will be, parked in their line-up position where they're finishing off their details, getting everything set up, and making sure their floats are all good to go. I would say the latest we would have people want to get there with their floats is probably 8:30, because the closer you get, the more traffic, the more parents dropping off their kids, and the band, the scouts.
Well, I'd have been here earlier, but I got caught in.
Yeah, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
And we always do the judging for the awards for the parade about 9:30. So we ask that everybody has their floats ready to go at 9:30 for judging. That way we can relay the information down to downtown, so they have it when the winning floats come through, so they can announce those awards too.
Now in the past, and again, things change. It happens every year, but I don't know how many units there have been. I know there's been, I don't know, 6 or 7, 8 units. I'm not sure how many, but is that close to this year?
We're going to keep the same six units.
Okay.
So units 1 through 5 will be your community organizations, your scouts, your queens, your groups, and then unit 6 will be horses, animals, and end off with the big guy, Santa.
Yeah, we'll have him at the end, of course. And again, the parade route at 10 o'clock, it steps off from the Fairfield County Fairgrounds right there on the exit right there, and it comes out and it comes down Columbus Street, turns left onto Main, then turns right behind us onto Fran Miller Way, as we mentioned earlier,
Yes.
and then back to the
Right.
fairgrounds.
Starts and ends right at the fairgrounds.
So it's a pretty exciting time. Got about 10 days to go. Things looking like they're coming together.
I mean, we're going to have as big, if not a little bigger parade than we usually do. We do have some new businesses and new entries that have come in this year. We have several new sponsors. I was counting the queens, and I think we have about 85 queens from across the state.
Oh my!
To
probably almost
travel.
Many counties.
Yes, many counties.
And I think we were talking before. I think you said we've got people coming, obviously from southern Ohio, maybe around Athens and Chancellor. You got people coming up from there. But then I heard you mention Coshocton, so pretty far east from here.
Coshocton, also Murray City.
Yeah.
You know, we have a lot of local queens, like our fair queens and the fair ambassadors, queens from Baltimore, and the Sweet Corn Festival, of course.
Right. A lot of Fairfield County girls.
A lot of close, to Lancaster. But then we do have some that they travel quite a ways to be in the parade.
Well, I guess they're the queen of their event, whatever that was, the Coshocton County, whatever that is over there. And that's their kind of their thing for a year, to just go around in these events. So we hope for good weather that day. Usually it can be a little bit cool.
Yeah, I'm just hoping no rain, no snow.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be nice.
Oh, the S word.
Yeah.
But everything is up. We've seen hail. We've seen, you've done this enough years,
Right. You don't know what you're going to get. You might have sunny and beautiful day, or you could have ice. I know we had to delay the parade an hour once because of the ice. So as long as we don't have that, snow might make it really pretty, be a nice backdrop.
Holiday parade.
So yeah, holiday parade, a little bit of
Santa
snow.
likes that.
Just no ice. No ice.
So you think a lot of professional units coming through this year? It's going to be a nice mixture of animals and people?
Yes, we have 5 professional floats that'll be in the parade.
Nice.
We have several horse entries. I know we have a couple very nice carriages. I believe Elsa is coming in with a carriage this year. I think there'll be a nice mixture. We do have, this year, we have a lot of Girl Scouts. I know,
Really?
Sometimes we go in spurts, but there are, I would say, 6 to 8 groups of Girl Scouts from the community that have joined. We do have one Boy Scout troop, so maybe we can get some. The girls are definitely overpowering the boys this year.
Come on, boys, you got to hold up the thing here. But that's nice to have young people in it.
Yeah,
that's great.
And they get excited. They like the parade. It's nice to see the excitement on their face, and they enjoy it. So that's a good thing.
Have you ever measured what the length of the actual walking is? Down to Maine, up here and back. I don't know if it's a mile,
sure.
2 miles.
I'm not sure. I would probably say maybe a mile and a half.
What's it take, about an hour? If things move along.
Yeah, if we're not stalled, I would say it's about an hour.
Yeah.
Hour and a half max. So
it's this is the parade. The July 4th parade is a wonderful parade, but it's a different feel there. This is the one that really, being on the 19th, not quite Thanksgiving, it really kicks off the holiday season.
Right. It's right before Thanksgiving. We'll celebrate Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. It's just a big celebration of all the holiday seasons, that busy time of the seasons that we're starting into.
Got a lot of holidays to celebrate.
Yeah, a lot of holidays, and gatherings. So I think it's just a real nice way to start it and kick it off.
Yeah, and again, I think it's worth mentioning again that this is named last week. The city was nice. City Council got behind it, as Maria said, and renamed for a couple of months here, a month and a half. Fran Miller Way, right here on the main Broad Street, heading down toward the fairgrounds under there. So that's a well-deserved honor. So for 30 plus years, and I know you helped her for many of those years, it's quite a laborious task taking this on. I'm sure you started this probably 6 months ago.
About June, July.
Yeah.
Maybe August, I get my first messages like, hey, do you know what the parade theme's going to be? We want to start getting our group's costumes together and brainstorming ideas, because there are a lot of people that take these awards really seriously, and they want to know the theme so they can tailor their outfits and floats for the day. So
Is there a number you give out for contact? You know, we're getting close now, a week and a half away. Things are closed down. You know who's in it, you know who's not. Is there still any number that people can call if they have any other questions about this?
They can call me on my cell phone. It's 740-407-6353. You can call me, leave a message, or send me a text, or if you want to email, you can do that as well. The parade does have a Facebook page, and we also do have a website. So if you get on Facebook, just look up Lancaster Holiday Festival Parade, and you will find us. You can shoot me a message on there. I'll be glad to help with whatever I can, or answer any questions that they need.
It's always such a great event. Maria Chandler, who's the chairperson this year, your initial one, so we'll hope for tremendous success for you this year. You've worked very hard, we know that, and it's difficult without the kind of the girl that you've been mirrored with for so many years. So we miss her a lot, we know that. So thanks for what you've done this year and getting this going. I know it's been challenging. It's had its moments, we understand that.
There always are.
You
just got to push through, and at the end of the day, once it's done, you just take a deep breath.
And here we go.
And it's over.
And we're off. 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, November 19th. The Holiday Parade, Winter Wonderland is the theme. Columbus Honor Flight are the Grand Marshals. We look for just a bang-up parade. Thanks for what you've done to get us this far.
Thank you for having us.
Maria Chandler's with us. We'll be back with Dr. Ed Payne in just a moment.
I want a doctor who listens to me.
From primary care to specialty medicine, we put your needs first by treating you like a person, not a number. Our primary care team will help you identify your healthcare needs and set goals for success, regardless of where you are in your wellness journey. We care for patients of all ages, with offices that are close to you. Whatever you're searching for, you can find it at Fairfield Medical Center.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Greetings from Fairfield DD. We are excited to share the joys of the fall season with you. As we move into cooler weather, we hope to see you at Football Friday nights and the County Fair. As you enjoy the season of changing colors, we also want to remind you of the change we hope to see. We pursue a vibrant community where everyone leads a fulfilling life and everyone makes meaningful contributions. Don't forget to stop by our social purpose enterprise, Art and Clay on Main and Square 7 Coffee House, to paint a new piece for your table this season or enjoy a handcrafted fall beverage.
You walked down the aisle and promised happily ever after. Sometimes happily ever after means ending a relationship. We know the conversations are not easy. Deciding what's best for you, your children, and your next steps takes work and communication. At Dagger Law, we know there are no monsters in a divorce, only people trying to find their way. Local, trusted, experienced. Dagger Law.
Our next guest is a guy we were just talking, it's been a while since we've had Ed on, Ed Payne, Dr. Ed Payne, most people think of him as that. but he's the executive director and CEO of the Fairfield Center for Disabilities and Cerebral Palsy. I think of it over there, Ed. When I was a kid growing up, that was Cole's Market.
That's right.
I can remember that. And the big thing I remember, just a slight memory, when my dad was a milkman for Deeds Dairy, and he delivered there to Cole's Market, and we just lived for a while right up on Madison up there, a couple blocks. But the thing I remember is, like all stores that size, they had a meat market in the back, and they had one-way glass back there in the back. And as a kid, it was like magic. You'd look at that, you get on this side, you could see, you get on, you couldn't, it was like magic. But I always remember, that was really a good market over there, Cole's Market. But that's what I remember. So everybody remember where that is on 6th and Madison right there. It's not a huge building. It's adequate probably for what you need, but you get a lot done out of there, Ed.
We do. And it's been, I've been thankful that I've been able to work at the center. I retired early, and when you're retired, it takes a few days. You find out there's nothing to do. So I started working there after retirement.
You're not somebody that wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, we have, for instance, transportation. We have a lot of drivers, men that actually have also retired, and they're looking for something to do. So it works out both ways. We can help them, and we can help also the people in the county get the medical appointments.
Well, we talked about that. I think you spoke of it as really a four-pronged attack there for the Center of Disabilities. You mentioned one is transportation for medical and non-medical folks around. You have an adult day service there, medical equipment loan closet. We'll find out each of these, and then home modifications, obviously for the people that need that, which would be ramps or maybe some in your bathroom, maybe a grab bar or something like that. So transportation, we see your vans out all over the place. You've got several of them over there. You really go all around the county.
We now have at least 15 vehicles that we use, and we transport 2 medical appointments for patients in Fairfield County. And we also go to Columbus.
I'm sure there are people that have to go up there.
Occasionally we'll take a trip to Cleveland.
Just a fun sightseeing tour up there.
No.
But you get a sightsee on the way up.
That's right.
So it's wherever people are need to go.
To the clinic,
Yeah. So how do they call ahead of that and make an appointment?
Everybody that needs transportation has to call ahead.
Okay.
And we then refer them to Job and Family Services.
And that's the clearinghouse.
That's the clearinghouse for the transportation.
And I'll give it up here early is the website. It's a good website. A lot of information on here and what the disability does. It's FCDCP.org. FCDCP. And Shane will put it up on the screen there. We can see that. Fairfield Center for Disabilities and Cerebral Palsy. And so that's a transportation. Now, you also run an adult day service over there.
That's right. During the day, we have mostly adults from 18 years and up, 18 through 60 or 70. And we have about 5 or 10 people that come in during the day. And it provides them with social interaction with other people.
That's important.
And we also take them throughout the county for little trips.
Now, we talked about just for transportation a second ago. How many, and you talk about as many vans as you have, how many trips you make every day?
That number, I don't know. I know we do
what are the hours
several
for that?
Several hundred.
What are the hours that transportation's available?
Our transportation starts at 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes.
Whenever people need it.
We have to take people to dialysis.
Sure.
And dialysis starts real early.
Yeah.
So I know one of the trips starts at least at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, it's a wonderful thing you got going over there for that. It's much needed, so thanks for what you're doing there. And the adult day service, and then you got a dozen or so people that come in. And again, that I think we found that out. A lot of people are talking about this social interaction when COVID hit. And I'm sure this hit you guys tremendously hard over there.
That did. We had some of the people did have COVID, and we had to close our adult daycare center for a while.
And it's those kinds of people that maybe have other underlying issues that had to be real careful. So I'm sure you had to be very careful over there.
That's correct.
Yeah. Did you ever get it in?
No, I've never had it.
Clean living pays off here for Ed. Very good.
Yes.
So but it's back open, full go now?
Yes.
Yeah. So did you learn anything? And I talked to people that businesses and nonprofits that survived the COVID thing, and they're still going on. And I'm sure in that year, 2 years that we've gone through that, you had to do things that, well, we never thought we'd have to do this, but you had to do them. Are you still doing any of those? Did you find out that some of those practices you learned actually carry on today?
Well, during COVID, we had to limit our the number of people coming to the center,
Sure.
and we're now up. We are not up to what we were before yet. We still have just a limited number of people coming.
But
to
you're
the
getting
center.
closer.
We're getting closer.
And probably had to, in terms of taking people, things had to be different in terms of driving people and amount of people on the bus.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah. So things are not 100%, but very close.
Yes.
Very close. Good.
Yes.
Guest is Ed Payne. Ed, of course, is the executive director of the Fairfield Center for Disabilities and Cerebral Palsy there, right over there on the corner of 6th and Madison. Everybody knows where that is. Again, for me, if you've been around a while, you remember it as Coles Market. But it's probably been the center. How many years has that been there now?
I'm thinking 19.
I was going to say 20, 25 years.
At least 25
Yeah.
years. It's
Yeah.
been 25 years.
And you've done a great job. It's a beautiful
Yes.
facility. I know it's gone through lots of stages of remodeling over there and keeping it up. And we were talking to Melissa, just thinking about that. We've been talking to Melissa Eaton earlier. You're on the board there.
Yes.
An advisor for her for this All Abilities Park, which is another good thing if we can get that moving here.
Well, and her dad, Terry McGee, was on the board for the Center for Disability. Very active in the community.
Well, I was fortunate
The whole
that they're
family.
my next door neighbors.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
Wonderful family. Terry and Chris and the girls, Melissa and Lindsay, just a good family. And Sally is involved in this. 100% go with Terry on this. And she's an advisor now to Melissa, and people like you and advising Melissa, I'm sure it'll go well. So thanks for helping out on that. Now, this medical equipment loan closet, I'm guessing that that's pretty expensive stuff to buy if you have to buy it. So some of that stuff is available through you to loan?
Yes, when you need a wheelchair, it's priceless.
Yeah.
If you have a bad knee or something, you need a walker or a wheelchair. But when you don't need it anymore, it's worthless.
Yeah.
So people bring it to the center because it's just cluttering up their garage.
Sure.
They bring it to the center, and we store that equipment in the building there. And if someone comes in and they need a walker or a wheelchair, we lend it out to them.
Is that the extent of it? Walkers and wheelchairs?
Mostly walkers
Yes.
and wheelchairs, yes.
Canes or crutches or anything?
Canes and crutches,
Okay.
yes.
The lesser things, yeah. But you're right. When you need the wheelchair, there's nothing that'll take its place. Yeah. So good. So 653-5501. You don't have to call that very often. I know
Never
that. So
call
you
it.
don't have to do it. So the disabilities number is 653-5501. So that's where they can call. So if they want to borrow any of that equipment, they just call that number and just come in and pick it
Yes.
up. Okay. Now, home modifications, that's a big deal among the people that need that. Again, if you need it, you need the ramp, you need grab bars in your home. These are things that you have people that can take care of that?
We have a volunteer group that goes out and builds ramps. We have limited finances as far as building ramps.
Sure.
We have a grant through the Fairfield Foundation that pays for materials.
So it's on a kind of a first come, first served basis?
Well, if someone needs a ramp, they need to call the Center for Disability.
Yeah.
And then we take their name, and then we have, like I say, a group of volunteers. They'll go out to the house and assess what they need. When you have a ramp, if you have a step in the front of your house that's 4 inches tall, for instance, the ramp has to be 4 feet long. So if you have 3 or 4 steps, for every inch up that the step goes, the ramp has to go out a foot. So they go out and assess the need then.
Yeah,
need a
because
20-foot
there'd
ramp
be
or
no
30.
two of these alike.
No, they're all different.
Because depending on what kind of home, some I'm sure have very steep access, and some are much easier to get in. But there's a real formula for that then,
That's right.
and they go out and look at it and then determine how it can be handled.
They go out and assess the situation, draw up a schematic, an architectural drawing, and then submit it to the center, and I review it. Then we decide whether or not to proceed with the project.
Okay, very good. So again, just call in and get the information into your office.
Yes.
And then go from there.
Yes.
And again, all this information, you can find it on their website, is 653-5501. You do a lot of great work over there, Ed, at the center. It's a busy place all day.
It is.
People coming in, vans coming in, coming out. You do a great job over there. Your staff is hard working. And
We have a wonderful
appreciate it.
staff.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Wonderful staff.
I'm sure you made sure of that. If you answer to Ed Payne, then you're going to do a right job, because Ed knows how to get it done. Ed, thanks for coming on. Good luck at the Center of Disabilities. We'll get you back here and we'll talk about things moving on. But you do such a myriad of things over there. Golly, it's really great work for Fairfield County.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ed Payne with the Fairfield Center for Disabilities and Cerebral Palsy. And thank you for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.